Yeah. Let me read to you before we go to the next part. Here's a prayer, not by a nun, not in the 17th century, okay? Lord, as I grow older, I think I would rather be known as thoughtful rather than gifted, loving versus quick or bright, gentle over being powerful, a listener more than a great communicator, available rather than busy or a hard worker, sacrificial instead of successful, reliable, not famous, content more than driven, self-controlled rather than exciting, generous instead of rich, and compassionate more than competent. And the verse underneath it is, I think this sounds a bit like the fruit of the Spirit, against which there is no law. This was written by Pete Hammond. Laura might remember Pete Hammond, who used to be on university staff and passed away maybe 10 years ago. And he was a missionary in the Philippines. So, and again, one of my discoveries when this is not one of those that I prayed. I said, thank you for Pete, put in the trash.
Tapon.
Tinapon. Hindi ko tinapon yun. But anyway, this leads us to the discussion on letting go. Yeah. So the response to the losses, remember we talked about losses last time, is to let go kasi wala na yun eh. I mean, we cannot retrieve certain things. We cannot retrieve our youth. We cannot retrieve those opportunities that were in the past. So, ang response natin is really to let go. So this, thank you, Bong. We can show now the slides. Yeah, so here's a definition from Adele Calhoun, a handbook on spiritual disciplines. Detachment means replacing the attachment to idolatrous relationships. In my group, we talked about for my grandson, it was easy to idolize my first grandson or other grandchildren for that matter. Replacing the attachment to idolatrous relationships or to self-serving goals and agendas for success, money, power, ego, productivity, and image with wholehearted attachment to and trust in God alone. So it's a replacement from attachment to certain of this to a wholehearted attachment to and trust in God alone. So that's one. Next slide, please. So if we ignore our fixed attachment to our identity and how it is represented in our drive for possessions, control, comforts, and achievements, we avoid the many deaths of relinquishment we possibly can. Many deaths. I think Flor mentioned that one of the things that was a highlight for her from the book. And I think even Melba said something last time about learning to die, a little at a time, or not exact quote. Relinquishment extend to the core of our identities, securities, and addictions, and says, for the love of Jesus, I will let go. It is only through letting go of the control streak that true trust in Jesus is born. Relinquishment extend to the core of our identities, securities, and addictions. And for the love of Jesus, I will let go. Feel free to take pictures of the slides if you like the quote. Next slide, please. Letting go is a daily invitation for those of us in our senior years. Letting go does not mean we say to ourselves or others, it does not matter anymore. That's not what letting go means. Letting go rather means we are no longer compulsively attached to our old perspectives, hopes, and expectations. Compulsively attached. So this is a kind of indifference. So some people call it the discipline of indifference, a discipline of detachment. Next slide, please. Indifference or non-attachment means to live with interior freedom, letting nothing own us but love. Interior freedom, let nothing own us but love. So in our old age, at least for me, I'm saying, Lord, I want to have that freedom. Not that I don't care, but that that I'm drawn to God and His love is what matters, and it's not about my expectation. I release that as well. My hopes, my dreams, I release that as well. Next page, please. So I was thinking these verses, I think, would be good as we end our time, because essentially what I have quoted are really these verses that Jesus. So our last words would be Jesus's words. We began with the Old Testament. We looked at Psalm, and then we looked at Isaiah, then Joshua, and we quoted from people. But here is what Jesus is saying. Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves. Let go. Take up their cross and follow me. For whoever wants to save their lives, those who want to cling, hold on, will lose it. But whoever loses their life for me and for the gospel will save it. He must become greater. I must become less. That, I think, is from the Message. That he will increase and I will decrease. So I'd like to spend the next maybe 2-3 minutes to invite you into silence and just to kind of either close your eyes as I read these verses slowly 2 times and just ask God to help you remember a word, perhaps a phrase, or perhaps there is an invitation that you hear from God as your response, as our response. So if you'd like to open your hand with your palms up as a symbol of release, that we relinquish the things that are attached to us, to let go. If that helps you in this part of our time, please do so and just hold your hands up with your palms up as a gesture of release. And I will read these verses twice. May I have the verses back? Bong. Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it. But whoever loses their life for me and for the gospel will save it. He must be greater. I must become less. Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it. But whoever loses their life for me and for the gospel will save it. He must become greater. I must become less. I think we can proceed to our closing liturgy, if that's okay. It's very simple. You know what to say. I just need to put the screen so you can see the candle. Can you see that candle?
Yeah.
It's been burning that whole time.
Mm.
So we are here in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
We are not
Not
alone.
alone.
Thank you. And you can put back the all of us. Bond, please. Thank you. And that's the end of our time. And there is a postscript where Carmena would like to facilitate just what to do from here on.